Greetings, YouTube. It's starting to get chilly here in the mornings, which I appreciate, but it means I put on my ugly orange sweatshirt again. Today I'm going to talk about two related role-playing items. One is a second edition supplement, and the other is a conversion of that supplement that was done by fans into 3.5 rules. And the supplement in question is the Windriders of the Jagged Cliffs. Now, this was a supplement for the Dark Sun setting. Now, the Dark Sun setting was kind of interesting. It was a second edition property, and it was, as the name alludes to, rather dark, harsh, rather brutal setting. It was set on a desert planet, a planet that had one time been green, but because of the use of magic, had become a desert. The world was ruled by dragon emperors and their viziers. They had a very kind of Asian feel, Middle Eastern kind of thing going on. Many people were slaves. The player characters were going to be playing people that were rebels, that were breaking free of the very rigid social structure and trying to both establish a new one and maybe even, hopefully, find a way to bring the green back to the world. Because using conventional magic in this world, conventional spells, arcane magic, would literally sap the life out of the world around you. Plants would die just by casting a spell. It was very evocative. It was, of course, an allusion to rampant commercialism and our raping of the environment. Not so subtle, in fact. And the world was also fueled by psionics, which didn't affect the environment like that. So they were a cleaner, greener kind of technology to use. The game introduced some cool races, and it tweaked some of the existing races and made them a little more interesting. Elves were known as a very nomadic society that ran from place to place. Halflings were very feral. They were, in fact, cannibals. And this particular supplement deals with a valley, very reminiscent of South America because it had spires of stone. It stuck out of the floor of the valley. And each of these spires was one possession of a clan of halflings. And this valley was green. It had life. It's where some of the water was still around, and it had a very tropical feel. So that right there set it apart from the rest of the world, which was very desert-like. In fact, a great desert race in this game was the Thri-Kreen, humanoid or human-like a mantis race. Awesome! I love the Thri-Kreen. But this supplement introduced the concept of life-shaping. That these halflings living in this valley had learned to use technology based purely on biology. They made their own weapons and armor and tools and devices and vehicles, transportation, everything out of living organisms. They grew them, they shaped them, they bred them. It was an incredibly awesome idea. I fell in love with it the first time I read it. Unfortunately, it was in a period when I wasn't really gaming, and so I didn't ever get to use it. I was always kind of bummed out. But then, lo and behold, out came 3rd edition. I had my desire to game energized. I ran a couple of different campaigns, and I loved every minute of it. But because things fell the way they did, I never got to use that supplement. I would have had to do a lot of conversion of my own, but it was a great evocative setting, and I wanted to use it. But I never did. Then, one day, while poking around the internet, I find this. The Life-Shaping Handbook. Some fans in Brazil took the idea of the life-shaping technology from the 2nd edition game and translated it into 3.5 rules and made it available for anybody who wants it. You just go out there and do a search for a Life-Shaping Handbook, and you'll be able to find a copy of this. You can have it, no problem. It's free of charge. And I printed this copy up. I used a small mom and pop because no big box copy shop is going to allow you to copy this. They're going to be like, oh no, copyright infringement and all that crap. It was a conversion of something I already own. It is not copyright infringement, folks. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. It's just I paid for the original one. All I want to do is have a translation to a new version. I don't see a problem there. But this is a great supplement. And the nice thing is that because you have this, this would translate very easily, not only into a conventional Dungeons & Dragons game, but into the new Pathfinder game. It would translate into an Everstone, the Blood Legacy game easily. It would translate into a 4th edition Gamma World game very easily. In fact, that's what I plan on using this supplement for next. If I ever get my button gear, I would like to do a short campaign with my wife using the 4th edition Gamma World rules, and these Life Shapers are going to play a part in that game. So if you have any love for the Dark Sun setting and you'd like to see some of the stuff moved into the 3.5 rules, get out there and find a copy of the Life-Shaping Handbook. It's well worth your time. It is awesome.